Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the new Away Day Tours podcast. If you don't know us by now, I'm Dan. This is my colleague Rich.
Good evening. So this evening's podcast is going to start with discussions in and around the current Nations League games this weekend, starting with our counterparts England, currently hosting Greece at Wembley. A exceptionally poor first half of football from England, in our opinion. Very, very strange team selection from the interim manager Lee Carsley. As the start without our striker.
Oh, Greece!
Oh, well, there we are. Shouldn't have said anything. It's currently England 0, Greece 1 early on in the second half. Dan, what's your opinion on the England team selection with no Harry Kane and the likes of Ollie Watkins sat on the bench there?
Personally, to me, well, in my opinion, he probably should have started tonight. A cracking striker after the Euros. But yeah, he definitely should have started instead of, well, obviously Kane's injured, but to go with no striker. Spain have done it in previous tournaments and over the years, but yeah, I'm a firm believer of the number 9 striker.
Yeah, personally, totally agree with you, Dan. Don't think you can beat having an out-and-out goal scorer, or even if it's a big man, little man combo, the old days of Crouch Defoe, those sort of things, but with no recognised striker out there, relying on the likes of Gordon one side, Saka the other, with Cole Palmer sitting slightly deeper than the two of them. But like you say, it's not a great formation. It is obviously going to be a few changes in the England squad with the interim manager, whether he gets a full-time job, he doesn't. But as we say, currently 64 minutes gone in the England game. We've just had a brief look and it's still England 0, Greece 1. We're going to switch our attentions to Wales, our nation. The squad left this afternoon for Reykjavik from Cardiff Airport. A few more familiar faces now back in the squad. Craig Bellamy has reached out to Swansea City's Joe Allen, which will see Joe Allen now back in the Welsh fold. Dan, what's your thoughts on that one?
Well, he brings... I'm personally happy with Allen being back because he brings a lot of experience in the midfield. I might be wrong, but I think Jordan James might be suspended.
Yeah, it rings a bell, that, I think.
So I'm happy with 74 caps for Wales.
As a nation, Dan, I think personally now it's time to try and push on. We've had a great last 10, 12 years. I remember when we first met many moons ago and we said we'd never see Wales qualify for a tournament. So to see the way the Welsh football team has progressed over the years, it's fantastic. As I said, we have to push on now from the Montenegro game, was it? The last one?
Yeah, where we went 2-0.
2-0 up in 3 minutes. But I have to say the pitch that day was absolutely dreadful. On a better pitch, we might have gone on to score 4 or 5, but the heavens opened and it was constant downpour from that.
But you take the 3 points.
Yeah, always take the 3. Unfortunately for myself and Dan, due to work commitments, we won't be in Iceland this weekend. However, we will be at the home game on Monday at the Cardiff City Stadium. Try and get down there early, soak up the match atmosphere prior to the game. Couple of beers, bit of food with the lads. What's your predictions for Monday, Dan? It's going to be a tricky one.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1 home win to Wales on Monday, and for Friday's game, 1-1.
Yeah, take a point away, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. So, in regards to Monday, Dan, or on Friday possibly, what sort of team do you think you'll go for? Do you think we'll see the likes of Big Kiefer back up top? Or do you think that's not going to be the Bellamy way and he wants a bit more fluent football? Or the attacking flair?
Personally, I think he might go with Brennan Johnson.
Yeah, he is in great form. I think he's bagged 6 goals in recent weeks for Spurs.
Tottenham.
However, being an Arsenal fan, mind the gap, as always. As last weekend, Brighton managed to brighten up my day. Have to get that one in there. Up the mighty Gooners. But yeah, I think Bellamy will bring a much more attractive style of football. Obviously, we have to be grounded as well in regards to the level of players we have when we face certain teams. You know, we are still picking the odd player from the Championship, League One, that sort of era. But we have grown massively, and as a nation, we're both hugely proud. Dan was lucky enough to be out of the Euros back in 2016. Personally, I didn't make it, but would love to be part of the next one if we can. So onwards and upwards for the Welsh national team. This weekend, not so much high-level football, obviously, with the Premier League teams not playing. Myself, I'll be at Taswell Saturday in the Welsh JD Cymru South when we make the short 20-minute, half-hour trip up to our local rivals, Pendracaiba, in what is already being described as a 6-point relegation clash. Neither side have had the best start to the season. When I say neither side, Taff started exceptionally brightly, took a point on the opening day to the league favourites at the time, Llanelli, followed up by 3 points with a 96-minute winner away at Aaron Lido. Obviously, this
Chris, I thought Chris nearly scored.
No, still 1-0 if you're still tuning in with Greece. Unfortunately, Dan won't be there Saturday, sadly due to work commitments taking over his weekend. But we'll, as we said, both be at the Welsh game Monday.
Yes, catch us down on Monday from probably after 5:30, 6 o'clock.
5:30, 6 o'clock, we'll be there. You'll see us floating around somewhere outside, probably having a beer, catching up with friends and family that'll be at the game.
And if you see us, just come on over.
Don't be shy. We don't bite. Come and say hello. I don't know if you guys are aware. We do now have some away day tours pin badges, which we're selling. They're £5 each with postage and packaging on top. We've got a range of them at the moment. One white with black writing and one black with white writing. If you give us a second, Dan, I'll just grab some. We'll show you them. We are shortly going to be launching a range of away day tours, other merchandise such as bobble hats. We do already have the quarter zips, but we think bobble hats may well be a great one now going into the winter, especially with the young followers we have wanting to continue their football training throughout the winter months. So there's the first one.
That's the black one.
And
that's
the white
white one.
Like I said, you can have one of each. You can buy them in singles, doubles. It also comes with a complimentary card of thank you. But like I said, we mentioned already, there's not many high-level games this weekend with international football taking a precedence. There is one derby, you can call it a derby in some aspects, down in League 2, where Cheltenham Town take on Swindon. We haven't really followed a lot of League 2. League 1 as of late. Dan being a Cardiff fan obviously still keeps an eye on Cardiff results, me with the Arsenal.
And with the travelling.
But yeah, like I say, in recent months, European football has become a bigger target for ourselves. I do think away day tours has slowly conquered Poland. We've had some fantastic trips to Poland in recent times, from Legia Warsaw, Lech Poznan, Water Poznan, Elana Turan, Piast Gliwice. Like I said, there's many. And I just think the overall experience, Dan, of Polish football is second to none to the British game.
Yeah.
Whereas here, you can't have a drink in the ground, you can't have a smoke, they take a lid off your bottle of pop. You go to Poland, there's flares, there's tifos from the outset, the people we've met.
The journey has been incredible.
Yeah,
some of the games where we've gone to, people have actually reached out and say, come on down.
Free VIP treatment. Yeah. These people have now become friends for life. We speak to them now every other day, discussing when we're going to go back out, what our plans are for Poland. You may well see us in Poland again now before the end of October. It is something we're looking into. We were planning to try and go last weekend. However, for some reason, I'm not quite sure why, but flights out of the UK were rather astronomical at the time. There was either no flights on the day that we wanted or the day back, and the ones that were, you were looking in excess of £300 a flight. Whereas we recently went out to Poznan. Flights were £34.99 each, and a hotel was, I think, between £75 and £80 a person.
80 quid, I think.
Yeah, so you're looking for less than 110. We've done 5 days in Poznan and 4 games in 5 days. But where can you do that in the UK? I mean, you can't have a standard Saturday night out in Cardiff for less than 150. Back to where Dan lives, probably talking £140 all in with a taxi, plus the food. So our target for the next 12 months, most certainly to keep on conquering European football, in my opinion. Dan, in regards to European football, mate, what would you say has been our best experience? Has to be Poznan, I would say.
Personally, Poznan, with 4 games in 5 days. When we go away, we try and cram as many games in, but
it's not always possible
Yeah.
because looking at the fixtures, when you go lower down the leagues, it is hard to find the correct stadiums they're playing at, the times. Even the last one, when we went to Poznan, we travelled over 2 hours on the train down to the one game. And lucky,
one, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
well, two actually.
Yeah.
Luckily enough, the one game coming back, we didn't realise until 10 minutes before the end of the game that the final train out was in 11 minutes until...
Which we looked.
yeah, we did look. Yeah.
And if we didn't look, we would have been probably still stranded.
Yeah, because the next train out was at 5:22 the next morning
Yeah.
in a small, quiet Polish village. I think we only saw one shop en route to the ground, didn't we? Apart
Yeah.
from a train station, which probably sees about 10 people a week, I would imagine. It was most certainly not the busiest.
No.
However, there was a friendly Polish security guard there that Dan tried to have a conversation with because he believes he is now fluent in Polish. Get in there slowly, aren't you? See, yeah, he just about speaks English sometimes. But you will notice along the way with these podcasts that Dan breaks out into laughter every now and again. If he sees me smirk, it's usually the end of it. But like I said, we want these podcasts to be fun
Yeah.
for you guys. We also want to ask your opinion. What do you want to see more of from Away Day Tours? Back in maybe August, September time, we hit a massive milestone on Facebook of 100,000 followers. Not something either of us ever dreamt of.
No.
Dan?
And today, we've just hit 102,000 followers. So
We're averaging
yeah.
1,000 a month minimum at the moment. It has good days, bad days. Some posts you can put up and think that's going to have great numbers, and it fails and falls flat on his arse basically. But then others, you presume that it's just a standard post that you're going to see across most of the football pages on Facebook, and before you know it, it's up in the thousands. The shares, the likes, the reactions, the comments, it goes wild. But
But we want to hear from you guys to see what you want to see more of. Whether you want to see more of myself and Rich talk live or
meeting fellow football fans,
yeah.
touring Europe. We've not mentioned to anybody prior to this, but we do have ambitions to try and get out towards America, South America, possibly next summer, depending on fixtures and flights and how it works. Dan is a massive fan of Boca Junior, so it's somewhere we would love to go to.
That's my number one
Yeah, definitely.
destination. Yeah.
But more so for the fact that there's a lot of rumours that the stadium won't be there in a few years' time if they get their way. Going to stop you there because Greece have almost bagged a second in the 75th minute. It's just wide of Jordan Pickford's far post. However, the flag has gone up. But yeah, back to future trips. Argentina is a massive one for Dan. Obviously, if we can get to the derby out there, the big clash with River Plate, it'd be a huge one. But for me, a very unusual one, only through my experiences of watching videos on YouTube, would be the Moroccan derby. I'd love to get out and watch Raja Casablanca. I think I've seen more flares there in one game than some stadiums have seen in their life. It most certainly does seem one of the wildest experiences.
Yeah.
But we do have a bucket list. We're not just football fans.
No.
Dan's been to the States to watch basketball. I've been across Europe watching ice hockey.
We just want to, yes, we want to do like football as well, but if there's any of our followers which like other sports, then we'll
Take that on board,
Yeah,
yeah,
of
because
course.
the reason behind the naming of the page, the Away Day Tours, was because 90% of venues, sports, or occasions we go to are away. The only local one we do is obviously both being involved at Taftswell Football Club. So one is we are away, and the reason we picked the word tour is because we're always touring or travelling rather than the word groundhopper, because I think groundhopper is synonymous only to football. Whereas, like I said, I'm a massive ice hockey fan as well. Love to get out to Canada to watch the Toronto Maple Leafs, so that's a bucket list for me. But not just that, we both like our music. Dan's been to various concerts, seen Coldplay live. He was a massive fan of Oasis. If things were the plan, he may well end up popping up to Wembley or maybe even Cardiff if tickets are floating around for that one. But mainly with the podcast, it's going to be football speech, because we both don't know a lot else in life apart from football. We live and breathe football.
Yeah.
Both want to try and make our way in the football industry, whether it be through Dan's love of photography, myself this year, I've taken another step up with our local Welsh League team, Taftswell, where I've become kit and equipment manager there. It's been a great experience, a lot of learning curves along the way, understanding the pressures that non-league football clubs have, because everything in the world of football these days is money. It's more of a business now than a sport.
And without you guys,
Yeah,
there is no club.
No, without the volunteers at that level, there certainly isn't a football club. If only people knew from the outset what it means to the non-league or the lower league clubs to have the support of people going through the turnstiles, paying that £5 and £6 rather than the prices we've seen floating around lately.
Yeah.
I think one of us saw it last week on the news. Aston Villa charging in excess of £100 for Champions League games. I know it's a big turning point for the club to be back in Europe's biggest competition, but charging those fans over £100 that have been there through the highs and the lows, you have to...
But with Champions League football,
it comes with it. However, we are both advocates that you do have to repay your loyal supporters at some point,
Yeah.
It's not even just tickets these days with British football. You're looking at football shirts now. Dan's an avid collector, probably in excess of 200-300 shirts. Repping the Ajax this afternoon. You can't get a football shirt these days probably for less than 80-90 quid now for a Premier League club. However, we've been across Europe to some of the highest leagues in Europe where you still get them at £40, £50 max. Dan, as I said, has got an avid collection. Some beauties. Dan, talking about football shirts, what's your favourite that you currently own?
Ooh, good question. Trying to think now.
Probably a hard question. I will say
Got so many.
your new Lech Poznan one is a beauty, the white one.
Yeah.
Fresh and clean, cut looking shirt.
And the presentation with the
Came
put it in the box.
in a gift box.
So yeah, probably go for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
To mention our time in Poznan, as we said, with football shirts, you've probably seen it on our Facebook, Insta, or X as it's known these days now rather than Twitter. We were gifted some memorabilia when we went to Water Poznan, or Vata Poznan, as we should say.
Yeah.
I was gifted a club scarf. We were asked prior to that who the biggest Welsh legend was, and who is that, Dan?
Tom Jones.
Well, yeah, because Dan likes his music. As we all know, it's Gareth Bale. So Dan was presented with a Poznan shirt. As he turned it round, there pops up Bale 11.
Which I'm going to put on Twitter. I'll sneak tag Gareth Bale and try and get it signed.
Fortunate enough, I might be able to help him with that one. Was in school with Gareth.
Yep.
Still see Gareth's family in and around the village. But it was a great touch because we literally only got in contact via the X these days with a lot of clubs and
they
social
come to us,
media.
didn't they?
Yeah, they came to us,
So-
invited us for VIP treatment. Fantastic day, free food, free drink. We may add, first experience of the padded seat as well.
Yep.
So you're not the only one. We are a few behind you in regards to padded seat treatment, but we've sampled one. So
Cracking page, mine.
yeah, great page.
Yeah.
Started a little bit after us with a totally different idea. It shows people the other side of football, not your standard through the turnstile Saturday afternoon, where these days it's like a Michelin star restaurant that most of these high football clubs now.
Yeah.
Personally, myself and Dan, we
like to be involved within the fans, don't we?
Yeah, it doesn't really do it for us sat at a restaurant type thing at a football game. We both rather either a greasy burger, hot dog or something along those lines on a terrace, cold coffee rather, a nice cup of warm coffee in a cold winter or a beer in the sun. But because as you've probably seen from all our photos, neither of us are ever spotted in jeans, trousers, shorts and a football shirt, shorts and a hoodie.
Yeah.
So for us, we prefer the more comfortable side of things, being out on the terrace, involved directly with the atmosphere. Again, atmosphere takes us back to Poland, back to Germany.
Denmark.
Yeah, many more along the way.
Turkey.
Turkey, yeah, for Alanya Sport. Out to Espanyol just before Christmas last year, so nearly a year coming up now we were out there. Like I said, the reason for starting the podcast is something new for the page and where we take it now in regards to just everyday general updates on the page. So you can catch us on the podcast, probably going to be once a week. It won't always be the same day, but we will keep you guys updated. Reason being, both of us work. Well, I work. I don't really know what Dan does, but he does claim to work. Yeah. Every time I try and contact him, he's oh, I'm in work today. It's usually when
Deliveries.
it's usually when it's his turn to buy breakfast or something. He's busy, but yeah. So let's have a little catch
before
up
we
on
go,
the scores.
It's 2-0.
It is 82nd minute from Wembley. It's England 0, Greece 2.
Ouch.
Well, we're on the lines of scores. We'll have a quick look at the latest scores this evening. Currently, France are leading Israel 2-1. Belgium have pegged Italy back to a 2-2 after Italy went down to 10 men. Austria 4 up against Kazakhstan. England, as we said, 2 down to Greece. Finland holding Iceland to a 1-1 draw. Norway, surprisingly for us, as we backed Slovenia with Benjamin Sesko's goal scoring prowess. Currently 3-0 down to Norway. Faroe Islands are now 2-1 up against Armenia, so a shock of the evening. And the two smallest clubs involved, Gibraltar 1, San Marino 0. But yeah, it's a shock of there is some shocking scores out there. Most certainly, we're not going to win any money this evening, Dan, and be able to jack our jobs in. But yeah, so as we said, on to the weekend now. We've got the Welsh game. I've got Tafswell Saturday. Yeah, other than that, like I said, bear in mind, an update, the England game, it's gone to VAR for the second goal. Looks like a possible offside in the mix. Believe it's...
Goal check.
Yeah, it's gone to a goal check. Definitely gone to VAR. Goals under review. I think the referee's coming across to take a look. I don't actually know what he's doing, to be fair. He's
still saying 2-0 though. Oh,
no goal. Goal disallowed.
No goal.
So, as it stands, 84
England.
minutes played.
England 0, Greece
1.
1, but it's still showing 2-0.
Yeah, that's ITV for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as we said, you will catch us weekly. We can't promise you which days it's going to be. We'll try and get the videos out as often as we can.
But we will put a post up.
Yeah, it'll be on all our socials, as you know. You can find us on Facebook, X these days, it is now, Instagram, and also TikTok. We do a few TikToks when we get a chance. But as we said, we want to try and do more of the videos so you know who we are a bit more. We are known, like you say, we've got the Ranger merch. You see us out there, so a lot of people know who we are. But the videos do take a lot longer to get them right, to correct them. It's not just as easy as finding a little bit of, latest football information and put a post out there. As massive as the page has gone for us, we have spoke this week that we find it's a little bit stagnant. It needs now taken to the next level.
Yeah.
Where it either becomes a career for ourselves, reporting on football around the world, or we just do it continuously as a hobby, as we have done for the 5 years. But 100,000 followers in 5 years, I'll take that.
But we lost 2 years with COVID.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, COVID did take a lot of it away for us. Fortunately for me, when you're allowed your little bits of exercise, I managed to get in 1 or 2 Welsh games from the outside of the perimeter on my hourly walk, as I was told by the Welsh MPs back at that time.
3-mile walk.
Yeah, around the perimeter 15 times. But yeah, did manage to catch a few games. But other than that, like I say, I think that's it for us for this evening.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, as we promised. We will be back. And I'll leave it to Dan to say goodbye to you.
Yeah, and once again, today we reached 102,000 followers, so I just want to say keep on sharing and liking our content. And yeah, hopefully next week you'll see another video.
Before we go, Ireland 2, Finland 1, France 4, Israel 1. That's it from us. Away Day Tours over and out, and thank you. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.